His selection in front of the consistent young Marty Guerin has been questioned, but the selectors obviously feel that the big match could extract some of the famous Fairfax flair. Winger David Michael makes a reappearance in the side after injury. His sheer pace will be an asset. Finally, Bernie Gurr, the elder brother of Marty Gurr, has been retained in the second row to partner Desperation. His selection after only one first-grade game is a measure of the confidence the club have in this local juniors' future. Well, does the two-week break earned by the winning of the minor premiership have an adverse or a good effect? Eastern Suburbs have just earned this right, and they've had the break. And their form today, of course, will be the yardstick of whether that's good or bad. A lot of people subscribe to the view it's better to continuously play. It should be remembered, too, that Eastern Suburbs have downed Canterbury in both premiership fixtures this year. Let's have a look now at that Canterbury side. Now, this match has been billed as a contest between the attackers, Canterbury, and the defenders, East. Now, I don't see it that way at all. A look at statistics will tell a completely different story. A detailed briefing shows that East have scored a paltry 5 tries less than Canterbury, that's 69 to 64, but their defensive capability is enormously better. They've conceded only 44 tries to Canterbury's 64, that's 20 tries less. So anyone who considers East just a team of tacklers G'd up by their coach Bozo Fulton should think again. Canterbury's misfortune in losing fullback Stan Cutler with a fractured ankle has been somewhat offset by the way the selectors have rearranged the talented backs at their disposal. Centre Greg Brentnell, with a huge amount of fullback experience behind him, takes over at the back. Peter Mortimer, who played so well on the right wing against West last week, joins his brother Chris in the centre. No lack of understanding there. But international Chris Anderson continues to have calf muscle trouble. He misses out again and is replaced by the well-performed Lee Pomfret. And it's a pretty useful lineup, you'll agree. Well, today's teams are playing for a spot in the grand final. The winner goes straight in. The loser goes round again next weekend in the final against the winner of the St George and West game. Let's have a look now at both sides as they take the field. And we'll go with the Eastern Suburbs side coming onto the field at quick speed at the moment. And this is the full Eastern Suburbs side. Russell Fairfax, David Michael, Kerry Bowstead, Noel Cleal, Steve McFarlane, Ken Wright, Kevin Hastings, Gary Warnocky, Des O'Reilly, Bernie Gurr, Royce Arlett, John Lang, John Harvey, and the coach was Bob Fulton. Now Gary Warnocky playing in number 8. There he is, just with the ball. His ability to contain Steve Mortimer and Gary Hughes could well rest the outcome of today's clash. I'm sure that his coach, Bobby Fulton, has designated the solid tackling lock to this vital task. How he carries out this job could probably tell the story of the game. The Canterbury side coming out in a little bit like dribs and drabs today. Some of them slow, some of them running, but this is the full side. Greg Brentnell at fullback, Lee Pomfret will be playing at number 19, Chris Mortimer, Peter Mortimer in the centre, Steve Guerin in the wing, Gary Hughes and Steve Mortimer the halves, Mark Hughes at lock, Stephen Folkes, Graham Hughes and Jeff Robertson as the back row, George Paponus, captain John Coveney, and the coach, of course, is Ted Glossop. Well, Coveney, the big husky front row forward, topped Canterbury's tackle count last match with 34. Massive effort. He'll need the same application today. He'll have coming at him 2 of Sydney's toughest and best props in Aleph and Harvey. Any faltering in defence up front, and the floodgates could open. Great shot of the 2 skippers. Aleph on the left, Paponus on the right. Paponus to toss. Hartley, Mr. Greg Hartley, the referee. Well, there it is. Match results since 1960. 52 games. East have won 29. Canterbury won 22. Drawn 1. Points for East 7-4-1. Canterbury 6-1-9. Since 1960, there have been 13 games between the sides at the SCG. East have won 10. Canterbury 3. Referee Hartley gets them underway. It'll be Canterbury running from right to left in the blue and white uniform. Eastern Suburbs receiving the ball. Red, white and blue. White shorts. Fairfax will touch the ball first. If it doesn't go dead, in goal it does. Restart with a tap from the centre of the quarter line. Hartley gave Stephen Folkes a tap on the backside as he walked past him. Already involved in the game. This telecast brought to you by Westco Motors, your local Mazda dealers. It's a Fairfax. And kick straight away. Fulton's not going to have them playing football in their own area. Oh, it's a good kick. Puts Brentford under enormous pressure. The rebound, well, the bounce got to him very hard. He put it down. Good tactical ploy there by Fairfax. I'm sure under instructions from Fulton. Straight away on attack, Eastern Suburbs. And the penalty rightly against Steve Mortimer for an incorrect feed. John Lang, there's a bit of an altercation. There's been some headbutting straight away. Robinson and Aylett going at it, hammer and tongs. This is like a 10-rounder into the old Rushcutters Bay. Flurry as that scrum broke up. Let's see it again. We've got both touch judges in. Now let's have a look at that scrum again. This was it. There was a penalty came from it as a result of a very incorrect feed from Steve Mortimer. Our cameras followed Mortimer, and then this happened. Robinson started with the right hand. Aylett handled that well, and there's been a little bit of a headbutt gone in. And he's taken a very strong right hand. Hartley's in there actually physically holding the players, and we've got another scrum to go down. No penalty, is it? Well, they're really getting stuck in. The penalty has finally gone to Eastern Suburbs, and Ken Wright will take a kick at goal. Dynamic opening. Royce Aylett very lucky in that little exchange. It happened probably so early, and that Robinson was the aggressor because the headbutt was there. Now Wright is 5 metres outside the quarter. He's 10 metres in from the sideline. We'll pick up the backpack shot. There it is, looking up into the stand and hill area. We'll get a good view of this. His first attempt. Wright's kick is beautiful. And a great goal to Ken Wright. That's a good start for Eastern Suburbs. Eastern Suburbs 2, Canterbury 0. Hastings got a problem with his boot. Fairfax was worried about. Little kick. There's a race for the ball. Lead conference there. Fairfax is there. Brentall's there. Fairfax gets to it, loses it. Canterbury in possession. Only about a metre away from the Eastern Suburbs line. There'll be a penalty if they don't get off him. That was Pomfret that got to it. Brentall swamped under the defence because they didn't have to go back 5 metres, only back to the line. Now Canterbury. Steve Mortimer. Gary Hughes, beautiful pass to Robinson. Robinson can't bust the defence. He does now. It's not gone. It'll have to be pulled up. If that pass had gone to Chris Mortimer, there would probably have been a try out to Guerin on the left with quick hands. But it was knocked down.
Stephen Folkes, the Canterbury second row, bleeding from the mouth.
Barry Ross on the sideline there. And another scrum win to Canterbury. Kevin Hastings, keep your eye on him, Barry, will you please? Steve Mortimer. Folkes. East defence very tight. They've got themselves out of trouble twice in the opening 9 minutes. Canterbury in a good attacking position now, 10 metres out from the line, midfield. Both sides of the ruck can be used. There's Robinson coming on the burst. Oh, they've knocked him hard. And Ayllett's come up with the dregs.
Hastings now back in the play.
Hastings up to his feet and back in the play. Well, Robinson will remember that tackle. Harvey running straight into the defender. Look at this defence. It is murderous. Fairfax again with a kick straight down Brentall's throat. Took it beautifully. Great handler. Brings play back to within 12 metres of the Eastern Suburbs quarter line. Guerin. Posted a great diving tackle right round the boots. Paponus goes the blind side. Out to Peter Mortimer.
A lot of blood flowing from Royce Aylett, either his nose or his mouth from a bad cut.
Well, I'd be sure that he wouldn't come off the field. He'd have to nearly bleed to death, Royce Aylett. I think they chiseled him out of granite. Steve Mortimer, Gary Hughes, the runaround. Beautiful pass out of Robinson. He's busted him up the middle, looking for support. Can't get a pass away. He does. No, he doesn't. He takes the tackle. Now, Mortimer, Steve runs from dummy half, throws the dummy. Gets it outside there to Folkes. Comes back inside. And great defence again. Let's put our Chris Mortimer that finally got the pass. Let's give good credit to Eastern Suburbs there. Their defence is first class at the moment. They've been under plenty of pressure. Scrum went to ice. Warnocky. Heavy defence up the middle there. Seems to be much room for breaks in the middle of both of these sides at the moment. Aleph. Harvey got a pass away late to Fairfax, who's wrapped up. It's all Canterbury at the moment. They're keeping Eastern Suburbs penned well and truly in after 11 minutes. You got points for territory. Canterbury would be in front, but that's not the way the game's played. East are leading by 2 points to 0. Did it well, Pomfret. And number 19, Lee Pomfret, the replacement for Chris Anderson. Brentnell running it from dummy half, waiting for his side to get back onside. Paponus, Steve Mortimer, Mark Hughes. Pass looked marginal. 10 metres, Canterbury side of halfway. Result of the reserve grade fixture today, Parramatta. In a very hard-fought game, won in the last minute and a half with a penalty, 4-2. And the pass away from Mortimer onto Pomfret was a good one. He loses the ball, and it's in possession by Eastern Suburbs now. Fairfax has it. Out along the back line now, Eastern Suburbs.
You were right about Royce Aleph. Alf Richards, the East trainer, just asking was he okay. He said, I'm right as rain.
Another scrum went to Eastern Suburbs. Johnny Lang doing the job. Fairfax on the blind side. It's 2 scrums all and a penalty all. Eastern Suburbs lead by 2 points to 0. Des O'Reilly with a beautiful pass away to Warnocky and takes it over the halfway line. Fairfax. Hastings. Ken Wright. Loses the ball forward. Robinson has it. Transfers it nicely to Graham Hughes quickly. Good quick thinking by Robinson. Now Canterbury have got an overlap on the right if they can move it quickly. Gary Hughes, Mark Hughes, Folks. Long pass out to Pomfret. Can't come inside his defender. Yes, he does. And gets into the half. East end. Coveney arrived late at the ruck. Got the ball. I don't think he expected it. Had 13 minutes of play in this first half. Steve Mortimer cuts out a man, Gary Hughes. Hughes right through the gap. Looking for support on the outside. A lovely pass away to Guerin. And the referee's called it forward. Offside indeed. Fairfax and Guerin having an altercation there, trying to get the ball. Was Fairfax. Guerin didn't want to give it to him. Well, that was a great break by Gary Hughes. The pass didn't appear all that much out of line, but the referee was on the spot and said it was. Restart by Lang. Harvey. A lovely pass there onto Warnocky, the lock forward, who's made a name for himself this year. Lang. Hastings. Cleal. Cleal loses the ball. Picked up, and the referee says play on. Boastman's got it. That pass looked as though it went forward, but Pomfret comes up with great defence. Now let's see whether Canterbury can sustain some defensive effort here. Cleal on the burst, moving. Back to number 5 there, Steve McFarlane. Now Eastern Suburbs, all Canterbury backline was offside there. Fairfax looking for a long pass out. He gets it away. Oh, and he's knocked it on. Well, bless my soul, David Michaels, one of the fastest men on the field. One thinks he may conceivably have scored a try had he taken that. In and out it went. We won't see a replay of that because the scrum's just about ready. Critical one. Referee instructing Steve Mortimer and how he wants it done. I don't agree with that. I think he should just let him do it and penalise him if he's wrong. It's a Canterbury ball if they can get it out of there. It's stuck under the second row's feet. Eastern Suburbs weight coming on. There it is. Mark Hughes. Net loss of about 3 metres. Gary Hughes. Slowly to his feet, about 5 metres from the Canterbury quarter line. Chris Mortimer, right round the boots, is Bowstead. He's a very keen defender. 2 metres now from the quarter line, Canterbury's end. 2-0 the score, Eastern Suburbs favour. Now it's back to Brentnell for a left foot kick downfield. It's going to go back towards Fairfax. He'll pick it up on the first bounce. Signalling Michael to go with him. Throws the dummy and suffers the consequences. Michael now at dummy half. Warnicky, strongly built young man. Still Eastern Suburbs in possession now as Alep's to his feet. Lang on the blind side he goes. Hastings with a grubber type punt, and it's a good one. Scrum now, a very important one to both sides. And it's in and out very quickly. Mortimer has it. Warnicky's round like a flash. The lock forward gave him no room at all. Gary Hughes from Brentnell. 10 metres out from Canterbury's line. Coveney. It's a good surge from the front row forward. Takes it about 8 metres from the quarter line. Quickly to his feet. Graham Hughes. Gary Hughes. Lovely pass and a great tackle. Hughes up the blind side. And the last tackle coming up. Let's look at the positional play of Brentnell here. Calling for it, gets it. And the kick is charged down. It's not a good one. It's been touched. The referee has ruled that Chris Mortimer was not offside. As Bowstead has it. And well tackled by Peter Mortimer. Warnicky. Back slammed heavily. Lang, you'll note, as does Paponus, goes to dummy half a lot. Harvey, Lang, Aleph, taken high, but not around the head by Folks. Hastings, right. Cleal, good tackle there from Chris Mortimer, right round the boots of the big fella. That's the way to take him. Fairfax, Pomfret, loses it behind him. The referee said it touched his leg and play on. It's like a scrum win and a good one to Pomfret. Very competent footballer, this Pomfret. Bought originally Barry as a halfback, was he not?
Halfback from St George, yes, and he's played fullback wing. I think even in the odd game at centres with Canterbury.
I don't think he's ever played halfback for Canterbury.
I think he may have in reserve grade when they first brought him.
You've got John Tobin with you, who's going to get a run at some stage, we hear. How's that cheekbone of his?
John, that cheekbone of yours completely recovered?
Yes, Barry, yeah, it's 100% now.
And what about today? Any chance of you going on later on in the game?
Oh, I think, yeah, there's a big chance of me coming on.
Tell me, John, has Bobby Fulton, the master coach, come up with anything special against this great attacking Canterbury side?
No, just play the way we've played when we've beat them previously.
All right, John Tobin, a very bright young second rower or lock in this Eastern Suburbs side. He sustained a fractured cheekbone, which has had him out for about 3 or 4 weeks. Scrums at this stage, Canterbury 4, Eastern Suburbs 2. The penalties, East 2, Canterbury 1. And another Canterbury scrum win. Graham Hughes, Gary Hughes. Brentnell, good pass out to Gary Hughes. He's got himself into the clear again, looking for support. Pomfret's away, up over the quarter line, still going. And magnificent defence from McFarlane puts him down. Interesting to note that Michaels was on the way across at cover there, the other winger too. Graham Hughes. East defence stays straight and wide. They don't bunch. Difficult side to score against. Coveney. Steve Mortimer. Gary Hughes, the dummy inside. Mark Hughes. Upended. Last tackle. Canterbury a bit slow to position themselves here. Let's see what Brentnell's tactics are. It's a high kick. Some pressure coming now for Fairfax. He jumps beautifully. That's a great take. That's Fairfax of old. Vintage stuff. Under pressure. Took it magnificently. Left tackle by Coveney high and Robinson low. There's the error situation. 3-all at this stage. That's the number of times each side has given the ball back to the opposition. Bailiff. There's O'Reilly. Hastings. Right. Lose the ball forward. I thought that ball went forward before it was knocked on by Cleal. The referee, I thought, was going to allow play to continue. Well, Paponus doing a great job for Canterbury at the moment in these set scrums. He's got the 5-2 situation. That's 2-1. Teddy Glossop, the coach of Canterbury, pointing out something. But Lang evens things up a bit with that scrum. Very tight game at the moment. Real cup-tie stuff. Right out to Cleal. Cleal, an important member of this east side. Very big, very strong, and pretty quick. There's O'Reilly. A footballer's footballer. Lang. Warnicky. Aleph. Fairfax trying to run off him, but the arms were enveloped. Hastings, long pass out to Harvey. Cleal caught by one leg. Eastern Suburbs lead by 2-0. There's a rebound off the Canterbury player. East trainer on at the moment to look at Aleph. He says we'll have it back in there.
That East trainer is Kevin Gurney.
He's also a selector, I think, isn't he?
Yes.
Now there's a penalty to Canterbury, collapsing the scrum against Johnny Lang, loose arm. Brentnell, fine touch in front of the member stand. Oh, there's a great kick. That's a fine left footer. He's come up with one about 15 metres away. Look at Guerin go too. That's a good game. Canterbury nice and deep. Robinson trailing back. I don't know whether he's hurt or it's going to come with a late rush at one of the latter parts of the ruck. The sequence of 6. Paponus trying to go from dummy half to score one of those tries that became his signature. Gary Hughes. Steve Mortimer. Beautiful pass on to Chris Mortimer. Oh, I think he's in. It's a try. Beautiful pass. He was on the burst, came inside the defence, and that was first-class stuff. But look at the little man, Steve Mortimer. He's come up with a bit of magic. A beautifully judged pass, and he's broken this try drought. Let's have a look at it again. There's a good shot showing the Eastern Suburbs defence moving up quickly. Now look at the length of this pass. Beautiful to Chris Mortimer. He's got inside Cleal and McFarlane. Actually, it was Cleal's tackle. He's in error. It's from head on. You'll see it more graphically illustrated. Now watch as he cuts out a man. The decoy on the inside. Cleal was very much remiss there. There's a man on the outside too. Pomfret still unattached, so that's his 6th try, 7th try for the year. Chris Mortimer. And there's Steve Guerin, 81 goals from 129 attempts. How'd you like to own him? Success rate 62.8, 12 tries, 81 goals for 198 points. That is great. Just from the quarter line, 12 metres in from the sideline. Not an easy kick. Acute angle. Just put it away by about, what would you say, a foot? Guerin, the score remains Canterbury 3, Eastern Suburbs 2. Graham Hughes. Just on the quarter line, Canterbury's end, 3-2 the score. 7 minutes or so to half-time. We've got statistics that look this way. Canterbury 6, Eastern Suburbs 4 in the set scrums. The penalties are 2 all. Now there's Eastern Suburbs back in possession again on Canterbury's quarter. Lang, Harvey, Lang. One of his little raids that he frequently does. Warnicky. Lang must be arguably the best buy that Eastern Suburbs have made in a number of years, as a footballer, that is. Right. Wrapped up. Hastings switches play out to Olaf. Oh, beautiful pass to Bostad. He comes under a high tackle. The referee says, last one. He's lost the ball, and he lost it himself. It shouldn't be a penalty. He didn't do it. See it again. Now, Hartley was looking away at the time, calling the players to get back to 5. See this again. Now, the switch of play. Now, watch Bostad. He'll lose the ball himself. There it is. Just dropped it. And Mark Hughes has been lumbered with the offence, and the penalty comes. It'll be a little bit ironic if a goal's kicked from this to put East back in the lead. Oh, he looks like he's kicked that too. That's a beautiful goal. Ken Wright with a day on, and what a day to have it. Eastern Suburbs 4, Canterbury 3. Mortimer restarts. Given it deep. Go dead in goal. Yes, just over the dead ball line, so there'll be a restart again. Now let's see whether Fairfax gets the ball passed back to him for a kick downfield. Harvey. 4-3. East lead. 2 penalty goals to a try. O'Reilly. 10 metres outside the east quarter. Lang. Alef looks to support. It's gone beautifully and got a magic pass away to Bostad. Bostad's up to the quarter line. Look at that tackle. That was Steve Mortimer. He's pulled off some remarkable tackles. Now some of these Canterbury players are offside as McFarlane comes across field. Now they're all back on side, and the gap perhaps closed. The opportunity is gone, perhaps. Great run by Alef. Great tackle by Mortimer. Guerin. Last tackle. Hastings. That's a better kick. There's pressure from Brentnell. Oh, and like the Rock of Gibraltar, he stood his ground and took it beautifully. He and Fairfax. Well, Fairfax is on top of him, going on a little bit like a crazy man there for a few moments. Gary Hughes. No doubt about it, Fairfax attracts the flyers, doesn't he? Paponus. Coveney rebounds off a Harvey tackle. Harvey just asserting his superiority, and Coveney wants to go on with him. Oh, dangerous pass, folks. Has got himself into the opening though, taking it well. Last tackle. 3 minutes to half-time. Gary Hughes. Well, Peter Mortimer just went a fraction too far then. One thought he had support on the inside, perhaps. That pass could have been better directed in there. Yes, it's the story. These cutaways come off fairly easily. That's a penalty to Canterbury. Feet across. These front rowers are still sniping at each other. There hasn't been a scrum go down that hasn't had a bit of spite. There it is. East 5, Canterbury 4, error situation. Number of times each side's given the ball back to the opposition. Robinson not been able to make any of the busts that he's becoming famous in the Canterbury area for. Defence very strong. Paponus, Steve Mortimer, folks, nicely back on the inside to Mark Hughes. And it'll be a penalty. quite see what he's given the penalty for. Was it a trip, Barry Ross?
No, jersey pulling. One of the Eastern Suburbs players pulling the jersey of one of the Canterbury players looming up in support.
Yeah, he just made the signal now. He was covered from me. Now this gives Guerin the opportunity to kick for goal. Breeze slight. You can see a little bit of streamer or coloured paper there on the background just behind Guerin blowing around. Guerin a study and concentration. Well, there's no doubt about that one. Just struck it beautifully. That is just a great goal. That's all that can be said. No deviation at all. Like a perfectly hit golf shot. And there it is with, well, the half-time hooter just about to go. Canterbury back in the lead by 5 points to 4 in a game that's been a pretty hard one. There's the hooters of the match read this way. The scrums have gone to Canterbury 6-4. The penalties have gone to Canterbury 4-3. The scorer for the Canterbury side was Chris Mortimer. 1 goal from 2 attempts. Great goal, the last one. 2 penalty goals. Barry Ross has been in the dressing rooms. We'll just wait on him positioning himself, but I'm interested to find out what Canterbury's tactics are. I think they're getting enough possession to be able to do the little odd chip, a little odd kick.
Yes, they're certainly going to kick it. In fact, Ted Glossop pointed out to his team that defence will win or lose this game. They've got to tackle, particularly in that first 10 minutes. He wants them to kick because he feels the win is in their half, and he thought that the Eastern Suburbs side are a little tired. He found 1 or 2 weaknesses because of tiredness, he thought. And also Russell Fairfax getting a little overexcited, and he can expect his share of bombs this half.
Yes, well, I don't think there's any argument about that. Now, let's see what Eastern Suburbs come up with in the first part. In the first half, we've just done some statistics. There were on 10 occasions East kicked. They were with the Breeze, of course. And on 7 times, the Bulldogs kicked. So I think that'll probably be reversed in this half with Canterbury maybe using the little chip by Steve Mortimer. There's Gary Hughes. Beautiful pass out to support there. Pomfret, is it? It's the wing 3/4 come in there. Just on halfway. Steve Mortimer, Jeff Robertson winding up. The value of these big props is the number of men it takes to pull them down. And obviously if they can get to their feet quickly after a charge, they've sucked somebody out of position. Reflecting on the score, Canterbury leading by 5-4. 6 to go, says the referee. Coveney, Steve Mortimer, Gary Hughes. Mark Hughes always finds his brother. Still on their own side of halfway. Steve Mortimer. Peter Mortimer. Bretnell, the fullback, chiming in. Pass back to Mortimer. Mortimer's on the boil. Going nicely. Gets a pass back inside to Guerin. Guerin's up the left-hand side. He's got Fairfax to beat. Does it easily. In the corner. Well, he stepped around Fairfax with the greatest of ease, and I think one of the Canterbury players has just said something to Fairfax, indicating that he might have pulled the wrong rein in going on with that business earlier. But here's the try again, and a good try it was, and scratch it down to Peter Mortimer. What great football he did. Now, Bretwell's pass there was a critical one, but look at Mortimer. Peter Mortimer, this is. The pass, lovely back inside. Guerin, see him change the ball from right to left hand. And Fairfax beaten pointless on that occasion, and Guerin scoring very close to the touch-in goal line. And Johnny Lang laying down the law there to some of the people, and Aleph, I think, has probably had his say. Still saying it. And Guerin, you can see the curvature of the ground there from our backpack camera positioned behind the goal. This is only a metre in from the sideline and 2 feet out from the quarter line with the breeze. Just see the little flags fluttering in the touch-unders hands. He's kicked that away to the left, didn't strike it all that well. So the score remains Canterbury 8, Eastern Suburbs 4. Through, perilously close to being through the Hastings tackle. Steve Mortimer, Gary Hughes, Mark Hughes. Great defence there from right. Steve Mortimer, Cuts out a man, Robinson. Got his pass away to Graham Hughes, going straight and hard. 10 metres outside the Canterbury quarter. Paponus. Steve Mortimer. Gary Hughes. Lovely pass out to Folks. Folks has got it away to Peter Mortimer. He's tackled well too, and he needed tackling at that point. Back she comes along the Canterbury line. Graham Hughes comes under a tackle, slips in that mid area. Last tackle. Brentnall selectively back on the popular side of the ground. It goes pretty deep. Michael's there for it. Mark Hughes tackle slows him but doesn't put him down. He's made another 5 metres. Coveney, the final tackler. Lang from dummy half. Coveney again the tackler. He's shaping up to get through another top tackle count. He had 34 tackles last week. Cleal! Back inside to Wright. Wright's on the boil, but he's taken head on nicely. And that was a Steve Mortimer tackle again, a critical one. Lang, Aleph.
On that tackle count, Rex, at half-time, Coveney was leading the Canterbury count with 16.
Yes, he's fair and square on the way to another massive tackle count. Cleal. Nicely back inside to Wright. Eastern Suburbs have come alive, but again, good defence there from Steve Mortimer and John Coveney. Hastings. Aleph cuts out a man, gets it nicely to Guerin. And he's unseated with a good tackle from Chris Mortimer. 8 points to 4, still anybody's game. Repeating the score of the reserve grade, Parramatta 4, South Sydney 2. So Parramatta straight in the grand final. Scrum window, Eastern Suburbs, right. Bowstead, he's wrapped up hard by Peter Mortimer on the halfway line. Hastings trying to run from that position. Lost the ball, and it was knocked forward. Lang scooped on it, scurried away. The referee says, knock on. Any players comment on that mid area there, Barry?
No, I didn't hear anything said at half-time in the Canterbury room.
Steve Mortimer was very quick to move to that ball. It came out on the inside of the scrum. He was there. Gary Hughes. Brentnall. Oh, and he nearly left it all behind. Chris Mortimer finally with it. Bowstead the tackler. Bowstead's put up a fine tackling performance today, folks. Telecast brought to you by Wisco Motors and your local Mazda dealers. Mortimer, Gary Hughes. Oh, evaded one just as well he did. Quick hands. Beautifully taken by Guerin. And Guerin well tackled there by Wright. Canterbury moving the ball with great rapidity. Gary Hughes on the halfway line, wrapped up.
Got a comment from Stan Cutler about that middle, Rex. He played there last week, of course, and he says he feels that the cricket pitch area could have been watered.
Well taken by Graham Hughes. A difficult pass to take, but that's the 6. Coveney. A straight and hard run to settle the play down. Folks under a high one. Referee says play on as Harvey. No malicious intent in that. He just happened to get him high. Mortimer Steve to Mark Hughes. Eastern Suburbs doing it hard at the moment. Steve Mortimer. Coveney. Oh, heavy stuff from Harvey. Head on. Gary Hughes. Robinson. He's found a gap. Got a pass away there to Graham Hughes. Forward, that one I thought from Paponus, but he's under the post. Right under the post goes George Paponus, and that I would think is going to be very difficult for Eastern Suburbs to come back from. But see it again, with particular emphasis on the Graham Hughes pass, as it occurred right along the line. Robinson's bust was a beauty. The pass to Graham Hughes was spot on. Well, very marginal. The referee was well positioned from head on. The damage was done, however, with Gary Hughes showing cleverness back inside to Robinson, taking a lot of tackling. Graham Hughes got it in his hands and quickly gave it back to Paponus. George likes to score him under the posts. Now, Eastern Suburbs, I can say now, with 11 points to 4, they may still well win this game. I'm not about to write them off, but they are looking to me, Barry, like a team that's had a fortnight layoff.
Yes, exactly, and that's what I said at half-time that Kev Glossop had picked up. They look a jaded and tired side, and this shouldn't have been. And Kev Glossop has picked this up very quickly, and aren't the Canterbury side taking advantage of any weakness in this area?
Guerin's kick is successful. That's his second success from forward. Canterbury in possession now. Folks, this is really got to strike now, sometime in the next 6 or 7 minutes, get themselves into a position to launch other attacks. Brentnell, that pass was a great one. Mortimer, Coveney. Well, Canterbury have struck without having to concern themselves with using the chip to break the Eastern Suburbs defence. Fairfax takes that well. Away to Steve McFarlane. These players slow to get back on side. Warnocky at dummy half. Over to Michael. Lang at dummy half. As O'Reilly only knows one way to go, straight and hard, up to halfway. Hastings. Aliff trying to force the break with sheer strength. Hastings had a quiet game from my view. He's been one of these most well-performed players all the year. Harvey now has busted the first line. And his usual mercurial self, Lang. Pass gone astray to ground, and the referee says that was 6 anyway. Now we've got Tobin coming onto the sideline. Whether he'll come straight onto the field is a moot point. Well, little question that he'll replace Bernie Gurr, I think. Not that Gurr's played all that badly. There's a penalty to Eastern Suburbs. Incorrect feed by Steve Mortimer. Now the touch judge on. There's Gurr off and Tobin on. Now I repeat, Gurr is not being replaced for bad performance or bad effort, but Fulton's in a situation, the Eastern Suburbs coach, of having to do something. But Tobin was one of his electrifying players with great pace, good backing up capability. He may just be able to do something. Noel Cleal on the boil. Tobin's number
14.
14. Warnocky caught by one leg, as well he did. Folks was the tackler. There's Tobin now. Eastern Suburbs got themselves into a good attacking position with a couple of play the balls to go. Hastings, right, drops the ball behind him, and that sort of thing is absolutely the cardinal sin. The pressure must be kept on. Graham Hughes up to the quarter line. Robinson now gets cut out as the pass goes to Gary Hughes out to Brentnell. Brentnell steps and straightens and well tackled. About 4 metres outside his quarter. Hartley's having a good look at that. I think there might be a question about the possession changing hands. It has. There's Lang going from dummy half. Up to Canterbury's quarter line.
There's the attendance of 28,883 on the board.
28,000, good crowd. Aliff, Harvey's put in a strong effort that everything he's done has been done at maximum revs. Lang from dummy half, that little stepping run. That was not a stiff arm tackle. That was a clutch around the collar. Hastings, right. Little grubber kick through. It's going to go into the in-goal area. Brentnell gets... Graham Hughes. It's Brentnell, yes. He gets pushed over by Cleal. The line drop out to restart play. Chris Mortimer will be the man to restart from the goal line. That's going to go straight down Fairfax's throat. Takes it beautifully. And he's wrapped up hard on the quarter line. Now East with 4 chances from now. Pass, it's gone astray. I think Canterbury have come up with it again. The pressure goes off. Right, and then Warnocky losing possession. Gary Hughes. Brentnell, beautiful pass out there, but it's a good tackle too from Michaels. Gary Hughes. Canterbury taking a bit of time to regroup there. They're all in a bunch behind the ruck. Coveney. Midfield on the quarter line. Paponus. Steve Mortimer, switch of play. Canterbury have been doing a lot of that. Just waiting for Steve Mortimer and one of his little kicks over the top. Brentnell is going to be the long tactical kick. It's going to get to Fairfax. He takes it well on the full. That was a good dive. Now, he's brought them back into a good attacking position. Olaf runs from dummy half. Going to pass away to Lang. He's wrapped up straight away. Olaf and Graham Hughes have a minor altercation in the background. Fairfax. Harvey. Got to pass away nicely to Bowstead. Bowstead's busted the tackle. It's the right arm. Magic bit of handling. And a top tackle there. From Folks again. Hastings switches across the ruck to Tobin, and that's a penalty inside the 5. Minutes to go. Some sort of minor miracle required for Eastern Suburbs to get off the hook. Michaels slowed down to take that tackle. There's O'Reilly ploughing forward. Hastings. Olaf. Got a pass away to right that he did very well to take. The blind side comes Harvey. And a stern player today too. Lang goes from a sprint up the dummy, from dummy half up the blind side. Last tackle. Hastings, right. Fairfax is cut out. It goes to Cleal. Back inside to Fairfax. Beautifully flicked to Bowstead. He's lost the ball. It's gone forward. And again, the error situation really letting Eastern Suburbs down. Well, there it is. They're racing away on the error count. Eastern Suburbs 9, Canterbury 5. That will read 10 for that last one. Mortimer feeds, it's a Canterbury ball. On the blind side he goes. Brentnell, the fullback, standing in a 5'8" position. Mortimer. Mark Hughes. Steve Mortimer. Gary Hughes. Mortimer, the run around. Robinson leaves it behind. It's gone to Warnocky. Warnocky takes it up to Canterbury's quarter. Lang in the run around. Now Olaf leaves it behind. Very sloppy stuff from Eastern Suburbs. They're not putting their act together, and Without trying to be a wiseacre, I did cogitate about the fact that East, being minor premiers, had a fortnight rest. They're playing like it. There's a scrum win to Canterbury. Gary Hughes can't get around Wright. Wright, a much better defender head on now than he was this time last year. Peter Mortimer. Interesting that East won both of the premiership clashes against Canterbury, scoring 8 tries to 2, Barry Ross.
Yes, well, it's not being shown today, but that belies the fact that they are just a defensive side. Before today's game, they had scored a lot of tries, Eastern Suburbs.
Graham Hughes up to the quarter. East having a pretty useful territorial advantage, but they're not doing much with it. Steve Mortimer through the dummy. Greg Hartley down again. Or took evasive action, shall we say. Mark Hughes. Gary Hughes. Chris Mortimer. Oh, beautiful pass away there to, is that Pomfret? Oh, Peter Mortimer's left it behind. Eastern Suburbs have got it. Now East Tobin, their replacement. Number 14. 10 metres into Eastern Suburbs half line. He had nobody to pass the ball to there. East look very flat at the moment. Lang. Right. Olaf. Warnicki. Shown much flair. They've gone the blind side here with Olaf. Canterbury with 13 minutes to go, looking like the side that will be going into the grand final. That'll be a penalty to East again. Steve Lauder being pinged for an incorrect feed. Steve Mortimer and George Paponus there, so there could conceivably be a change of halfback. Mortimer may go to another position. He's been cautioned about 4 times for his feeds. There's a great kick. 12 minutes to go. Virtually Eastern Suburbs' last chance now. They've got to strike, get on the boil. Lang from dummy half. 5 metres away. There's O'Reilly on the surge. Hastings. Olaf. Back inside to Harvey. Canterbury's defence equal to anything that East have thrown at them today. Cleal. All the smaller Canterbury centres have handled Cleal very well today. Hastings. Last tackle. Fairfax. The bomb goes up. Well, what a great catch. What a top catch. Leading Eastern Suburbs. And the scrum win. 9-6. Canterbury lead the scrums. Peter Mortimer. Away to Gary Hughes. Legs chopped from underneath him by Warnicki. Good tackle there as Guerin gets upended by Hastings. Robinson.
Here goes Eastern Suburbs to make another change. Marty Gurr wearing number 15 coming out to the sideline.
Steve Mortimer. Gary Hughes cuts out of mouse straight to Brentnell. Cleal handles him. The ball's gone free. Picked up. The referee says play on. No increase in the tackle count. Gurr on the sideline waiting to come on. Will it be as fullback? Gary Hughes through the dummy. What a dummy it was. Still got, got his pass away to Coveney, and Coveney's put it down. And now comes Gurr. similar look. Eastern Suburbs win a scrum. Hastings goes for a sprint. Right.
Interesting point about Marty Guerin, Rex, is that he needs one more game to complete 15 first-grade games for East and a $5,000 bonus. So does this count as that game, or will he have to play a full game?
Well, I don't know what the rules of this in Suburbs Club are. I would have thought going on the field would count as an appearance. There's a heavy hit. Steve Mortimer comes up with the ball from broken play. He's found a gap. He's upfield. He's gone into the clear. Can't get a pass away. It's a great run, though. He left a path of Eastern Suburbs defenders behind him. Now, Gary Hughes. Got a very bad pass away. It's picked up by Paponus. Steve Mortimer did his best to take evasive action to get out of the way there. 13-4, Canterbury. Folks. The usual award for today's match, the player we judge to be the best, will appear on Sports World tomorrow and receive his $400 if he judged along with all the other weekly award winners at year's end. The Footballer of the Year on Sevens Big League will be the recipient of a beautiful Mazda RX-7 sports car. And that's a prize worth about $16,500. Great prize, great car. Similarly, the try of the match, the player responsible for that try in each match receives $150. Another error, Eastern Suburbs back in possession. Hastings has busted the defence, gets it to Harvey. Harvey still going along. Got a pass back to Hastings, who's up on the quarter line. 7 minutes to go. Desperation now for Eastern Suburbs. Lang. Long floating pass out to Cleal. He manages to pull it in. Does particularly well. Getting back to that try, the player we judge at the end of the year to be responsible for the try we judge to be the try of the year, a magnificent Mazda 626 Coupe will be his. Warnocky. Canterbury defence has been immaculate to date, absolutely immaculate.
Yes, they've cut off the main points of East attack through the centres and down the middle of the ruck with John Lang. Both of those have been cut right off.
They left to Tobin then. Tobin spilled it. That error count goes up by 1. It's 13-9. Eastern Suburbs have committed. A little bit of dancing around there going on between Harvey and Coveney. Player down at the moment, Paponus.
I think it is George Paponus.
He's saying that something happened to his head. Couldn't have been an Eastern Suburbs fist, one thought. Something on the head. Anyway, he's to his feet. Pretty hard lad is George Paponus. The Greek community would have held their breath at that point. Eastern Suburbs scrum win. Hastings on a Cleal. Cleal going strongly. The Canterbury defence closes quickly now. They get to their feet quickly and play the ball. It's been kicked through and knocked on. And Canterbury have come up with the ball. Now there you are. So Eastern Suburbs are contributing to their own downfall with some very sloppy football.
That's Greg Brentnell on his back there, Canterbury fullback.
Yes, he had to tackle Cleal, I think. There's another change of possession. Lang comes up with the ball from that error. Aleph. Warnocky. Steve Mortimer all over Warnocky like a rash there. Tobin. Guerin desperately waiting to touch the ball. Warnocky goes on his own. There's a try. Better late than never. Paponus kicks the ball away in disgust, but it's a try. The crowd think that Canterbury have got this game boxed up. Don't anyone underrate Canterbury for winning the premiership this year. This is a better side than the last year's side, and they got to the grand final. Kickoff goes dead. A little more. Lang. Clear. Still going. Hasn't got a pass away. No knock-on, says the referee. Aleph. Hastings a dummy half. Harvey to right. That pass looked forward. Offside pass from Harvey. The referee was right on that. He took a second to orientate himself, but he's ruled that way. Paponus says, we're not taking any taps, we're not taking any kicks for the line, we're taking a kick at goal.
The way we looked at it, Barry, we had a fine young side last year that covered themselves in glory by going right through the semis and the final, and narrowly lost the grand final to a fine side such as St George. In addition to that, we had players who were unavailable for those games, such as the great players you've seen today, Robinson and Canterbury, and we've got a wealth of young talent in the reserve grade side. We thought to import any player whatsoever this year would have been a vote of no confidence in the players that did so wonderfully well last year. So with sufficient confidence in them to carry on and do the job that they've done for us this year.
Peter Moore, the secretary of the Canterbury Bankstown Club, naturally elated. As Britnell takes what could be one of the last touches for him in this game. A very superior performance by Canterbury. Their defence has been magnificent. And the tries they've scored have been good ones. They've not sustained any injuries, apart from a few cuts.
When Peter Moore finished talking with us then, Rex, he's walking out in the field to shake hands with Ted Glossop and meet the side as they come off.
And there's the hooter in the background. So predictably, the Canterbury side have come up with a good win, 13 points to 7 over Eastern Suburbs. They go straight into the grand final. Eastern Suburbs now are faced with the job of defeating the winner of the St George West game, which will be televising tomorrow. The try scorers in today's games have been, for the Canterbury Bankstown side, Chris Mortimer, Steve Guerin and George Paponus, and 2 goals to Steve Guerin in their tally of 13 points. For the Eastern Suburbs side, 2 penalty goals to Canterbury.